One issue was this issue of settler violence, which is not really discussed within Israeli society. And when I saw it through my view from the operations room was time and again how acts of violence against Palestinians are just under rug swept and covered up by the military that doesn't enforce the law on violent settlers.
So the fact that you're occupying Palestinian territory, that's the root of the problem.
There cannot be an occupation that will be moral or that will conduct itself in a good way. It's the problem is inherent in the mission, and the mission is occupying people without them having rights and dignity, and without them choosing to be under this control.
You've witnessed abuses then, or you've witnessed things you're unhappy with. Have you been a part of that yourself and that you reflected on afterwards?
I've gotten orders and given orders to my own soldiers that I later regretted. I'll give you an example of something very systematic. There were a couple of times where my commanders gave us a box of flashbang grenades, and they just told us to start throwing them out of the driving car. When I asked why, they told us to make the Palestinians understand who owns this place.
Did you feel that that the officers and the Israeli army were asking you to do something that you obviously felt really uncomfortable with, but you were not in a position to say no when you was in the army?
I think that for the most cases I did feel comfortable with what I was doing, and that's because I was convinced that it was for the security of Israel. Now what we do in Breaking the Silence is ask questions far beyond just security, like what is the moral price for that security? Is that the kind of security we want to live with as a society? Now I know that isn't what I want my society to be doing, and I know that the occupation isn't justified in any moral terms. So from my own experiences, I know that this occupation needs to end. I know that it has nothing to do with the morality we expect from ourselves.